Okay, so I seen Bernie. I think he was on Mill City. Shit, shout out to Mill City, and he was kind of talking about Mayweather not congratulating Crawford on beating Canelo. I guess him posting his betting slip was his way of acknowledging it. Honestly, I wouldn't read too much into it. I think it kind of gives validity to what Bernie is saying, that he possibly hating on him, is that Tank said he a hater. He don't want to see nobody do better than him. And the thing with Adrian Broner, how he did Adrian Broner. I kind of remember Adrian Broner kind of saying what happened was, they started smashing his hoes and he got mad. And I told y'all that's usually how beef start between dudes. It's either money or a chick or a combination of both. That's usually why guys usually fall out. It's usually as simple as that. But yeah, I remember I had this personal trainer. He was the personal trainer at my gym. My funny thing, I just seen him the other day. It's been a minute. We kind of go to the gym, one of the gyms I go to. I seen him, and he used to get mad when some of the dudes try to holler at some of the chicks that he trained. Like, he used to be like I guess guys are like that. Personally, I get it. Like, I get it. But shit, if you ain't the main thing, you just chicks that's hanging around. I mean, it is what it is. We should trade chicks all the time. And like, I don't really, like, if it's like nothing you really coveting, it is what it is. But when Floyd got that power, like, I'm the best, like, how can you leave me for him and all? You do shit like that, it's like, it's an ego thing. But as far as him not congratulating Crawford, I don't read too much into it, bro. I know a lot of people will, but, and, Bernie don't like some of the things that, Floyd did in the past. Like I said, try to say, oh, he should fight Benavidez and side Canelo. With Floyd, like, what y'all expect? He don't want to see nobody be better than him, bro. That's a fact. Everybody he dealt with, he fell out with. Other than like Hitchison, like, other than that, like, him and Tank fell out. Him and Devin fell out. What's the common denominator, bro? Him and Leonard fell out. I don't care what Leonard say. What's literally the common denominator? Floyd Mayweather's the common denominator. And I mean, it is what it is. He beat him, and then it's this conversation that Bernie was saying that, and I get into that, the other part a little bit later. And he was basically saying that, Terence beat a more seasoned Canelo. I mean, I don't think you can debate that. Better Canelo, I mean, that's up to y'all to decide. When Floyd beat him, some people said he was premature. Now Crawford beat him, some people say he was too old. Honestly, that's for everybody else to decide. That's for people to decide. About to pull a James Bond shit right here. That's for people to decide, excuse me. But for the most part, he's too old, too young, too old, too young. You beat him. Who was more impressive? I mean, Floyd pitched a shutout. Just off performance, Floyd pitched a shutout. That was beautiful. And you can make a case why Crawford was impressive. But it's because, he went up a couple weight classes. I mean, it's apples to apples. I'm apples to oranges, oranges to bananas. Who cares? Crawford took 2 years off. I mean, that's what made it superior to jump in weight. But no, we get into these silly conversations, bro. They both great fighters. There's no way we can get prime Mayweather versus prime Crawford. The conversations, I just feel like, are nigga conversations, to be honest. Oh, who better, Will or Kareem? And like, who better, Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali? You don't really see them say who would win, Jack Dempsey or Marciano. You don't hear white people have those conversations. You know what I'm saying? Bob Burnquist or Tony Hawk, like, they don't have those conversations. We should just really accept their greatness for that. You don't even really hear them really, really going in on who was better, Tom and Peyton. It's more of a player by player, thing where, I had to, players have an opinion, but for the most part, you really have those conversations, bro. So they both are great, but as far as back to Floyd, I mean, so be it. I don't need your approval if I'm Bud. Like what I did, they stamped me. What I did is stamp me. And the thing about it is when you look at, careers and people talk about, who you beat, how you beat them though. How you beat them. We talk about all-time greats or pound for pound. We don't talk about style points. When you talk about style points, I don't think in the last, at this level, when you start talking about all-time great, top 10, top 5, top 20, which is all subjective, I don't think since the turn of the century, without no catch weights and no foolery and really having the system be against you, I don't think it's a more impressive fighter as far as style points than Crawford at that level. In my opinion, I feel like Crawford might have had one or two mundane fights, and one may be the Madrimov fight, and the other one was the Klimov fight. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, them the only performances I really can say that probably weren't electric. Every performance that Bud had, it's like even those performances had a tension in it, or some type of craft or skill, and he didn't put people to sleep. At that level, he's one of the most exciting fighters. Beat elite competition, no matter up and down the scale, there's electricity. When you start looking at that scale, yeah, Ricky Hatton won some good fights, rest in peace to him. Rest in power to him. He runs some really exciting fights. But in reality, it wasn't to this level. When you start looking at guys, Arthur Abraham used to ice motherfuckers, but it wasn't at the level of Terence Crawford. Bernard had some good wins, but it wasn't to the excitement level of Terence Crawford. He won at an exciting level. Mayweather too. Mayweather wasn't beat niggas like Crawford was beat. Crawford's beat niggas into submission. He stopped every opponent at welterweight. That was his third weight class. So, in the way that you see him and Andre Ward telling him, hey man, you down versus Sean Porter, you down. He said, how? He a few minutes, not even few minutes later, he stopped the man. So when you start talking about, like, since 2000, he's the most stylish elite winner there is. You know what I'm saying? Usyk is not doing what he's doing. Most guys move up in weight, it's just my opinion on it. It's my opinion. So, Floyd not stamp, don't matter, bro. Muhammad Ali used to stamp fighters all the time. He stamped Mike Tyson. You got to understand it's your time. It's okay if somebody succeeds you, Regulars are meant to be broke, but how can they succeed you when is other than title defenses or accolades or belts? It's strictly shop talk. It's strictly somebody's opinion. Floyd, they can't take Prime Floyd and put him in there with Prime Crawford. And another reason you might have a leg up with Crawford is he beat niggas. He beat black fighters. He fought them. So when you start digging layer in it, of course there's some animosity there, or I won't say animosity. And he's always been respectful to Floyd. But of course, they're competitors. Of course, there may be some tension there because he did things that Mayweather wasn't willing to do. He fought everybody that they put in front of him. And it wasn't protected by the system, so you had to fight everybody. The system wanted to see him lose. It's kind of like the last Mission Impossible, where he had to go against the algorithm. That was Bud. So he couldn't avoid black fighters. He had to go through them. He didn't have the luxury of that. So, if I'm Bernie, I don't read too much into it, bro. But Mayweather is just one of those guys. I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't want to, LeBron to pass his record. It's just the competitor still left in those guys. I don't think it's no real true hatred. It's just being a competitor. I'm the best. I put my life in. You know, records are meant to be paid. You know, Joe Louis thought, hey, man, at some point, maybe one day somebody might break Joe Louis's heavyweight title defense. Right? That's the record of all title defenses. You know what I'm saying? And I was watching Dante's boxing channel, and he said, you know, there were, I think, 20 to 22 years between Jack Johnson and Joe Louis, because Jack Johnson, you know, they allowed him to fight for the heavyweight title. The first black man, he won it. But after, you know, he lost the title, whatever, there was 20, 22 years before they let another black man fight for the title. But they just called themselves world champions. And when they did, Joe Louis got the title, and he spun off 25 title defenses. No other champion in boxing has 25 straight, defending their title 25. That's why it's important that you see Wilder. I think he's inside the top 7, 8. I think he had 10 or 15 titles. You can say, oh, he didn't fight no. You can always say that. You can look through anybody's resume. But to defend your title, they say you ain't a champion until you defend your title. But to defend a title 10, I mean, to defend it 10 times, I feel like that's Hall of Fame status right there. So you got a target on your back for 10 straight fights to defend it. That's tough. But let alone 25 title defenses is insane. The way the pace of boxing going right now, you'll probably never see that again. But I appreciate y'all. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree. Peace.